On February 17th, we're going to have our first eclipse of 2026, a new beginning solar eclipse in the visionary, innovative, super creative sign of Aquarius. This eclipse will likely be extra electrifying because it's going to square Uranus in Taurus, and Uranus is the great awakener. It's known for its wildcard nature, often delivering jolts and shocks and shake up, wake up moments, but it can also bring revelations and aha moments that are profoundly eye-opening and life-shifting. Additionally, my friend, there is a lot of planetary support for this eclipse, which I'm excited to share with you in part 1 of this video, along with who will most feel this solar eclipse in Aquarius. And as always, tips for navigating this energy with the most ease, peace, and grace. In part 2, I will be doing your 12-sign readings and pulling an oracle card for each of the signs as well. So before we dive into this very exciting, electrifying solar eclipse in Aquarius, I want to welcome you if you are brand new to the channel. This is a like-minded community. If you are highly sensitive, empathic, on a spiritual path, or you just love astrology, you are in the right place. Take a moment right now to tap the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss a video. Welcome back if you've been watching my videos. Thank you for subscribing. I would not be here without your support. And if we're just meeting for the first time, I'm Betsy Gutting. I'm a psychic astrologer and intuitive life coach, and I love empowering and inspiring you through Western tropical astrology. It's also my passion and my joy to meet you on Zoom for live one-on-one astrology consultations. So if you are intrigued or you could just use some extra support right now, stay tuned till the end of the video. I'll tell you more about my offerings, and I have a free gift for you. I also write about the astrology between videos in my weekly inspirational astrology updates. So if you would like to get those direct to your inbox, go to my website. You can sign up for free and get your free instant download gift at the same time. Now, on a human level, as much as we can sometimes fear eclipses or worry about whether they're going to impact us negatively, on a soul level, they are the soul's ticket to evolutionary growth. Eclipses are portals of change. They have the ability to take our consciousness to a new level, to catapult us into a new timeline, often by revealing a truth that points us in a new direction, sometimes a direction that we didn't even know was possible, that we hadn't thought of before. And so for many of you, this eclipse may be a turning point that marks a life transition. And if you're ready to move into the new territory that your soul is leading you toward, then an eclipse can gift you with a runway for takeoff. On the other hand, if it's time for you to make a change, if your soul has been giving you those nudges, but you've been resisting them, an eclipse can feel more like an involuntary shakeup. But the goal of eclipses, if they're activating our natal planets or points, and this is something I'm going to share with you towards the end of part 1, if you're one of the ones being activated by this eclipse, the goal is always to pick you up and put you down in the place that you are meant to be, the place that is most in alignment with your vibrational frequency, as we say, who you are now, who you've grown into on your soul's evolutionary path. And that's a metaphor, of course. Sometimes we are literally being picked up and put into a new place, a new job, a new situation, a new relationship. Other times it's a metaphor for a shift that may just be happening on an inner level, but then that motivates you, it energizes you, it inspires you to go after something, to say yes to a dream that before the eclipse, perhaps you didn't think was possible for you. Now, solar eclipses are new moons, and like all new moons, they jumpstart a brand new manifestational cycle, meaning you are likely reflecting on a new beginning, a dream, a vision, or just what the heck am I supposed to do with my life going forward? Where am I meant to be? Where am I meant to move, some of you? Be in career or job or retirement, some of you. Engage in relationship, whether it's a best friendship or a lover or a spouse. Any of these things could be up for you, or your health or your money. Now, during the solar eclipse, the sun and the moon, like all new moons, will be together in Aquarius. They are conferring and they are reflecting on one or more of those questions that I just posed. But Aquarius energy is always future focused, very creative. We call it your genius or your creative brilliance. And this eclipse is a ring of fire annular eclipse, meaning that the moon is passing between the earth and the sun, but it doesn't quite cover the sun. And so we see that ring of fire in the sky. And that's inherently energizing, right? The timeline for this eclipse is 6 months to 2 years, meaning that it is a new beginning that will play out over the next 6 months or within 2 years from now. Why do I say 2 years? Because over the next 2 years, between now and 2028, we're going to have 6 eclipses on the Aquarius-Leo axis, meaning that the universe, your soul, the planets, all working together are giving us opportunities. Every time we have an eclipse on this Aquarius-Leo axis, something is moving inside of us, something is stirring, something is being catalyzed, and we could call it your soul's destiny. And this is a destiny-driven eclipse, meaning that it is a North Node eclipse. The North Node does represent your destiny. It represents what is new for you, new territory. For a lot of us, it will be something that we have not yet done before, or it's our growing edge. It's something that we have to practice, we have to get good at. But what I love about a North Node eclipse is it's saying, this is the direction, whatever is inspiring you during this eclipse, or whatever you're inspired or empowered to let go of, to release. That is exactly what is right for you, for your future, for your destiny on a soul level. But we also want to remember that it takes a while often for our human self to catch up to the soul, which is why we can resist eclipse energy. But Aquarius energy has a natural buzz to it. Why? Because it is co-ruled by Saturn and Uranus is an electrical energy. So there's a natural feeling of, and desire often, motivation, inspiration to go further than we've gone before. Aquarius is connected to the vast cosmic intelligence. The idea of anything is possible. If you can dream it, you can create it or become it. In other words, your future-focused vision is only as limited as your creative imagination. So we have this dare to dream aspect and a push to, as Captain Kirk said in Star Trek, boldly go where no one has gone before, and to boldly go where we have not gone before. Aquarius energy says innovate, revolutionize, invent for the first time even. No pressure, no pressure. But in this energy of Aquarius, and then an eclipse, no less, which amplifies the energy, which is that portal of possibility, in Aquarius energy, we can more easily reinvent ourselves or our work or our identity on any level. Now, the Saturn part of Saturn and Uranus as co-rulers of Aquarius, Saturn says, if you are focused on a solid, sustainable goal or vision, and if that vision upgrades your life, and even better, upgrades the lives of others, of the community, of those whose lives you serve or people you care about, or even all of humanity, so much the better, because Aquarius wants everyone to thrive. Most of you are familiar with the fact that Aquarius also rules technology, and of course AI is changing our lives and our world very quickly. And as we know, technology can do wonderful things or harmful things. It's up to us to co-create the best use of it. But also in Aquarius energy, we can be inspired by innovative solutions, creative breakthroughs, new ideas and possibilities, new ways of thinking about things that we hadn't explored before. Those divine downloads that we can get. This is Aquarius energy. We can put our spidey senses, so to speak, our intention out into the ethers and pull back into us the response from the universe, or maybe it's a response from your guides or your ancestors or, spirit. Who knows the source necessarily? To me, it's not so much about where is it coming from as is it lighting you up? But we have special powers, so to speak, to tap into that cosmic intelligence when we are in Aquarius energy. And for those of you who see yourselves as humanitarians, that's Aquarius energy too. Human rights, people demonstrating on the streets, more people speaking up, more people taking action for what matters most to them. And big picture, Aquarius wants what is best for everyone, with the ethic of everybody gets a voice. Now that Pluto is also in Aquarius, and Pluto will be quite far from the degree point of this eclipse, which is at the very end degrees, and Pluto's still at 4 degrees. But with Pluto in Aquarius, we are in an era of shifting away from hierarchical structures and moving closer toward power to the people. And of course, that is a process. But because this eclipse is happening almost at 29 degrees, 28 degrees, 56 minutes, there's also a sense of something ending, closing out. Even though it's a new beginnings eclipse, at almost 29 degrees, it is closing out a chapter. And this is further validated by the fact that it's a North Node eclipse, but the North Node is still in Pisces. And this year, the nodes are going to change signs into Aquarius and Leo. So, my friend, if something is ending for you, if you are in a grief process, that would be very natural right now as well. Now, the nodes of the moon are the big players in eclipses. These are what create eclipses when the lunations are close to the nodes of the moon, and they move in 18-year cycles. So the last time that we had an eclipse that was a North Node eclipse, a North Node solar eclipse in Aquarius, anywhere near this degree point, and it's not that close, it was at 18 degrees. But what's important is that it was a solar eclipse conjunct the North Node. Because if it was conjunct the South Node, it would be a very different eclipse. And the last time we had this was February of 2008. What was going on at that time in your life? You might want to think back to that time. I know that it takes a little bit of reflecting sometimes to land on something, but it can be interesting to look at. And I want to encourage you to only look at the themes, because if something really challenging happened for you at that time, maybe you had a loss, or maybe it was something amazing that happened and your life completely changed and it was a fabulous blessing. Either way, the transits that were happening then are not the same ones that are happening now. So however you feel emotionally about what went on back then, that may be very different this time, but the themes will very likely be similar. And I'll tell you what happened for me as an example. This eclipse falls in my 9th house, and the 9th house is connected to a lot of things, including publishing and sharing your knowledge or your enthusiasm, your philosophy to a wider audience. And at the time, I was launching my first website as a spiritual coach, and a blog was also part of my website. So I was publishing something that had a message to it, and that very much fits with the 9th house. What was it for you, my friend? Share with us in the comments if you'd like to. Now, the aspects, in other words, the planetary conversations that are going on during any new or full moon, including eclipses, fill out the story. They give us clues to how this eclipse may play out. And also, how can we work with these energies instead of resisting them? So I first like to look at the ruler or the rulers of the sign. And in this case, as I mentioned, they are Uranus and Saturn. So let's look at Saturn first. Saturn is making a big move just before this eclipse. It has been in Pisces just 3 days before this eclipse on the 14th. It will move into Aries to stay. And then just 3 days after this eclipse, it will meet up Saturn with Neptune already in Aries, and they will make their history-making conjunction at 0 degrees. The Aries point, which I've spoken about in many videos, the Aries point is connected to the global axis, the world axis, and it is connected to leaders and leadership. And also for us individually, it's connected to a very fresh start, pure potential, 0. Everything is possible. Anything is possible. Not only this, Neptune re-entering Aries to stay, which it did in late January, ushers in the new era of Neptune and Aries, which is not going to happen again for another 164 years. And I have to say that there are a lot of different ways that Saturn and Neptune coming together can play out. And I have a separate video for you where I explore some of those different interpretations. But for purposes of this video, the highest octave of Saturn and Neptune coming together in Aries is making a new dream real. So this happening in synchronicity, so to speak, with this eclipse is very supportive. And Aries energy sextiles Aquarius energy. It is the fire to Aquarius's air that can be quite inspiring. Now, Uranus is a bit of a different story. Why? Because Uranus is the shaker upper, waker upper, so to speak. It can bring us a powerful surge of inspiration. It can be exciting. It can be like, oh my gosh, a few minutes ago I didn't know what I was doing, and then all of a sudden I got this incredible idea, this, we call these the aha moments, the revelations, all of that. And now I'm about to embark on something I never thought I would do that is going to change my life. And I'm going to give you an example of that in a moment. The sun and the moon making up the solar eclipse are squaring Uranus. Squares generally are more challenging. Why? Because they're uncomfortable, but they are the aspects, one of the aspects that puts us into action. And that really is the nature of the square. It is often pressure or tension that, because of the discomfort of it, requires us on a human level. We're not going to allow ourselves to be in that tension for very long. We are going to figure out a way to relieve it and move forward. Now, Uranus is in Taurus, doing its very last pass before it moves back into Gemini to stay for a much longer time. But until April 26th, when it re-enters Gemini, it is in Taurus, and Taurus is connected to material security, currencies, self-worth, and deserving. It is the land and farming and our food supply. It's extreme weather, and we've had many different kinds of disastrous weather-related events, I'm sorry to say, since Uranus has been in Taurus. Big picture, Uranus and Taurus, it wants to upgrade us, but before we can get that life upgrade that is the ultimate goal of Taurus energy, oftentimes something has to break down or be taken apart before we can rebuild something that's more sustainable. And that's where Uranus can come in and feel like a tornado or an earthquake, metaphorically speaking. But if we are really aware that we are stagnating, or we're really aware that we are in an uncomfortable lull and that we need a change, and if we invite that change, and if we ask Spirit to give us ideas to help us to wake up to whatever is next for us, to help us to be courageous, to help us to be open to receiving that Uranus download, then we don't need something from the outside to give us that shove, which can feel like a breakdown to a breakthrough. It can feel like an electrical outage or an internet glitch, something breaking down in your life. Something that's going to be disruptive enough that it's going to make you take a pause and look for a creative solution or a workaround. And that is going to open up your mind often to other possibilities. Or it can just be a last straw moment where you're like, F it, I can't believe that that happened. And now I'm going to give myself freedom that I wasn't giving myself before, because F it, I'm just done. I've had it. That can happen too. So I want to give you an example of a Uranus square, because we can be afraid of squares. We can be afraid of any difficult Uranus transit. But about 5 years ago, when Uranus made a square to my natal Uranus, I was at a turning point in my life. I knew that I needed a change. I loved where I was living in Laguna Beach, California. I loved my apartment. I was 5 blocks from the beach. What could be better than that? But there were things going on in my outer environment that I had no control over, in my neighborhood, for example, that I couldn't change and that were really affecting me negatively. And so I was asking Spirit, give me inspiration, tell me what I can do, where I can go, what would be a better place for me, and so on. And I got this wild hair, as we say, this wild hair idea to move to another country, specifically Mexico. I had been to Puerto Vallarta, Mexico many years earlier, and I had written part of my book, The Magic of Saying Yes, in Mexico, and I really loved it there. But in order to move there, I would have to give up my beautiful Laguna Beach apartment, and I would have to sell most of what I owned, because I couldn't afford to keep my California apartment and pay rent on Mexico apartment at the same time. So that's a huge shift, right? It's a huge life-changing decision. And after moving through a lot of inner resistance, yes, there was fear. It felt surreal to imagine me doing that. It felt surreal. There was so much unknown, living in another country, speaking another language, and I was not fluent in Spanish. What would it be like? I mean, there were so many question marks, right? But it turns out that my father, who had passed, many years earlier, had a close friend, and his friend owned a building in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, and there was an apartment that I could rent, at least when I first got there. And so that was like a stepping stone. And I said yes. I said yes to it. I did all the things I had to do to move there. And that was a Uranus square. Incredibly exciting, incredibly stimulating, new adventure. And as soon as I got there, I met several women who lived in my apartment building and we became instant friends. An amazing gift from the universe. And I didn't stay there. I came back. My daughter had 3 babies in the meantime. So I'm now living near her and near my grandchildren. But I was there for almost 2 years and I will never regret that decision. What I'm really happy about is that I didn't sell my car. I kept my car because I have a cute little Volkswagen Beetle convertible. They're not making them anymore. It's the cutest car that I've ever owned. And I'm really glad I had the wherewithal beforehand to store it with my kids in case Mexico turned out to be not my forever home. So a challenging Uranus aspect does not have to be something that we fear. And big picture, in any event, astrology is for our empowerment. It is always happening for us rather than against us, which reminds me of one of the reasons I decided not to stay in Puerto Vallarta and not to buy a home there is that we had another eclipse in 2024. We had an eclipse that came with a Category 5 hurricane in Puerto Vallarta, and we lost running water for almost a week in my neighborhood. And that was also a revelation for me because I saw how the local government was not fully equipped to take care of disasters like that. And it really made me think about, would I want to own a home here, given the reality of things? Now, there are some very supportive planetary conversations going on during this eclipse that I want to mention briefly, and then we will get to your 12-sign readings. One of them is Venus in Pisces making a conjunction to the North Node. Venus in Pisces is exalted. She is very connected to the divine. And of course, Venus rules all the delicious things in life. Beauty, pleasure, comforts, our artistic nature, our creativity, the money that we need to enjoy the beautiful things about life. Venus conjunct the North Node could play out as somebody coming into your life that is a quote-unquote soulmate, a soul friend, a lover, new soul contracts, or other kinds of meetups or synchronistic events that show you that a new soul cycle is happening. Because remember, eclipses are about cycles, cycles ending, cycles beginning. So I love this about this eclipse. It's also an invitation to deepen your relationship with your own soul. Not only this, Mercury, Venus, and the North Node are all going to harmonize with Jupiter retrograde in Cancer. So Jupiter retrograde in Cancer is connected to blessings along the lines of home, family, your own emotional security. This could bring in some sort of news or communication, or maybe because Jupiter's retrograde, this could be somebody coming back into your life or somebody that you haven't spoken with in a long time. And then Venus again, anything Venusian, anything lovely, connecting with Jupiter, also bringing blessings or good fortune or something that just feels very divine. And we have the minor grand trine, something that I've spoken about in past videos, and this is Pluto, Uranus, and Neptune all harmonizing, making trines and sextiles. So that's why it's called a minor grand trine, also known as a magic triangle. It is a base of stability, of support for everything that is going on during this major time of change. Now, as a side note, some of you may be thinking, well, isn't Uranus in Taurus, and is that harmonizing? Yes, because Uranus in Taurus is at the very end degrees, so it makes an out of sign trine and sextile to Pluto and Neptune. So this gives added support to the themes that are connected to both Aquarius and Aries, which is a courageous pioneering of something new, reinventing yourself or an aspect of your life, spiritual awakening, and the freedom to go your own way. And not only this, we want to remember that another synchronicity in terms of the timing of everything is that also on February 17th, we begin the year of the horse in the Chinese New Year, which is very passionate. It's the fire horse, the year of the fire horse, very passionate. And I love that the fire is connected to Aries energy too, Saturn, Neptune making their conjunction in Aries. You know, all of these things have similarities. They're all working together. The fire horse energy is passion, independence, letting your heart catch fire and running with your deepest desire. So who will most feel this solar eclipse in Aquarius? It is happening at 28 degrees, 56 minutes. So those of you who have planets or points between 24 and 29 degrees of Aquarius, Leo, Scorpio, or Taurus, you will feel it quite intensely. Also, those of you who have planets or points between 0 and 3 degrees of the mutable signs, Pisces, Virgo, Gemini, or Sagittarius, you may also feel this more personally and intensely. We will all feel the themes wherever we have 28 degrees of Aquarius in our natal chart. And someone left me a comment asking, why is this if I have no planets in a particular sign? Why will I still potentially feel the transit? Because if you've got planets or points, for example, transiting, like this solar eclipse, transiting your house of Aquarius, they can still be making aspects to other planets or points in your natal astrology chart. And like all eclipses, we all feel them collectively. And you will see, this is one of the ways we learn astrology, is to track what is going on in the collective, what's going on in the news, what's going on globally or in your own community around this eclipse time. And also keep in mind, we can feel eclipses 6 weeks before they actually occur and up to 6 weeks afterward. But we often feel them most intensely several days before, several days after. Okay, so my tips for you, my friend, stay open. When we have an eclipse in Aquarius, which is co-ruled by Uranus, and Uranus is squaring this eclipse, it's saying there are new downloads waiting for you. There are new workarounds and solutions, so stay open. And I really encourage you to set an intention beginning with the words I am, the most powerful words in the English language, I am. And you can translate that into your own language. I know a lot of you speak other languages. I am, and then a quality or an emotion that you want to feel. How do you want to feel with this eclipse? I'm energized, I'm inspired, I am ready, whatever it is for you. And you might want to add in there, what is it on a practical level that you desire? And whatever that practical, tangible thing is, if it's tangible, you might add, I don't know how the universe, my guides, my angels, spirit, however you relate to the cosmic powers, I don't know how they are going to help me co-create my vision or my goal or heart's desire, but I'm open to it showing up in whatever way my co-collaborators, the divine, is bringing me. And then you could add a playful, surprise me, bring me an unexpected happy miracle. Let's do your 12 sign readings now. I am going to tell you in which house, based on your rising sign and the whole sign house system, you are likely to feel this solar eclipse in Aquarius. Also, watch your moon and your sun signs because they are going to give you further themes and intuitive messages that also could play out for you during this Aquarius solar eclipse. So let's start with Aquarius. Hello, beautiful Aquarius. This is your solar eclipse. And as I mentioned in part 1 of this video, which I hope you will go back and watch if you haven't already, because there's a lot in there for you, we are going to have eclipses, 6 eclipses on the Aquarius Leo axis over the next 2 years. So this is a very important time for you, a time of change, transformation, reinvention for some of you, and a chance to make your dreams real, Aquarius. And happy birthday to those of you who have February birthdays. Aquarius, when we have an eclipse in the first house, it can affect any area of our life. Mostly, we talk about first house eclipses as impacting your identity, a new identity in profession or in family or in a status in a relationship, perhaps. But also it is your appearance. It is how you see yourself, how you want to be seen by others. And it is also your vitality, your energy levels. And eclipses can bring to light something that if we haven't seen it before, we need to see. That's the beauty of an eclipse, even though sometimes that could be something regarding your health or something regarding, I'm just getting, I don't, I trust the things that come through. So I'm just getting, for some of you, you might find out that somebody really important to you, who you love, who lives near you, is going to move, or they get a new job and that requires them to change how they use their time. Something I'm getting, some of you are perhaps going to get news during this eclipse that somebody important in your life, and this could even be a partner, you find out that they're getting transferred somewhere. You get the idea that because the eclipse is happening in your first house, it's across from your seventh house, and this means that things within your relationship could play out, or new information comes to light in a relationship, but also something that a partner does or a close friend does also ends up affecting you because of a decision that they make during this eclipse. Eclipses often bring us to points of decision making. Also, your career, all the angles of your chart. This is an angle of your chart, your ascendant, your rising sign, that is your first house. It is across from your seventh house. The other angles of your chart are your midheaven career point and your home, the home and family point, we call it the IC. So any of those areas of life could be up for you in terms of change or a new vision, or you're really thinking about them. So beautiful Aquarius, this eclipse is saying, if you want to reinvent yourself, you have the freedom to do so. If you want a new job or career, you have the freedom to do so. If it's time to let go of, it's at the very end degrees, it may be time to let go of something in your life, an aspect of your life, a chapter of your life that doesn't align with your current vibration. It could be that too, including relationships. So, but it's a solar eclipse, so keep in mind that is a time to do visioning and to ask yourself what your heart most wants. Some astrologers will say, don't do manifesting on an eclipse. I don't share that philosophy because we are always the co-creators of our life. And yes, there's always an element of fate, and in the case of this eclipse, destiny. So certain things are out of our control, but why not use our co-creating magic and see what happens, see how it shows up. Okay, so Aquarius, let me shuffle for you and let's see what the cards have to say. For our first eclipse in Aquarius, the first of 6, and what the angels want you to know, Aquarius. Your card is prioritize. Archangel Metatron, focus on your highest priorities. I will help you get organized and motivated. What I love about the colors in this card is that they are that purple energy that reminds me of Pisces energy, and Venus, Mercury, and the North Node will all be in Pisces during this eclipse. Some of you may want to create something of beauty if you're artistic. Some of you, this is also reminding me the way that Archangel Metatron is moving, like swiftly moving, right? In this violet flame. You might want to do a violet flame meditation. But there's something about, there's so much movement in this card. It reminds me of the movement of the fire horse, which happens just, on the same day as this eclipse. So when you prioritize, you'll be able to more swiftly respond to whatever this eclipse is bringing you. Beautiful Aquarius, if anything I shared resonates for you and you want to share in the comments, I would love to hear. Capricorn. Hello, beautiful Capricorn. Capricorn, you are going to experience this solar eclipse in Aquarius in your second house of earned income, your values, your priorities, what matters most to you now in terms of material security. This is also where we can up-level our self-worth through our inner child work or whatever you might do to increase your sense of, that you do deserve the things that your heart most wants. But this house big picture is about self-reliance. In Capricorn, most of you are such hard workers, you are motivated, you have no qualms, or how should I say this? Most of you do not resist a goal or climbing a new mountain or, you know, putting in the grit, as we say, to accomplish something. You love accomplishment. So let us see what the cards have to say for you. And before I do that, I want to say that you are, you know, very likely during this eclipse, you are thinking about your money. Perhaps you're looking at maybe your finances. You might be desiring to earn more money, or you could be desiring to buy something that is going to bring you more material security or something that you've been wanting for a long time. Or you could really be focused on increasing your sense of, I deserve it, I'm worth it. You know, maybe you waited a long time to ask for a raise, or maybe you waited a long time to start your own business or do something on the side that's going to bring you more money, or just, you know, this could be for you more about aligning your life with your values, aligning what you do with work. And I know not all of you work. Some of you are retired. Some of you are probably independently wealthy and you don't need to work. Um, you know, you're all coming from different places, a lot of you, but um, this eclipse, being a visionary eclipse, is asking you, is there something that will upgrade your physical life, the physical comforts of life? So that's a good thing to be thinking about if you resonate with that. Okay, Capricorn, let me now shuffle for you and let us see what the cards have to say. I'm so happy that the sun is finally out here in the Pacific Northwest. We've had a few sunny days lately, but usually I'm not able to do your videos until later in the afternoon when the sun is going down. And I'm so happy that we get to see the sun today together. Okay, Capricorn. And maybe that's an omen for the beauty of what this eclipse is bringing to all of us. More sunshine, metaphorically and literally. Capricorn, your card is moon cycles. Notice how the moon affects your energy and your manifestations, and capitalize upon these cycles. Well, here we are in a moon cycle, right? One of the most important moon cycles we can have, an eclipse. And, you know, this is talking about like manifesting on a long-term basis too, beginning to use the moon cycles for manifestation. So some of you may want to do a moon ritual. And at the end of part 1, I talk about a way to form an intention that you can use for this eclipse. But I like that this is saying, notice how the moon cycles affect your energy, because a lot of us feel very differently on a new moon versus a crescent moon versus a first quarter moon and a full moon, and then the eclipses as well. And if you look at this angel, the doves full of light, the blue, which always reminds me of Aquarius energy. And there's a magic to me, there's a manifesting magic to me of these doves almost looking like they're coming out of her hands and her crown. So, whatever this brings up for you, beautiful Aquarius, that may be your soul speaking to you as to the superpowers that you have as well. If you want to claim any of that, your superpower, share with us what that might be, perhaps, or anything else you see in this card, let us know in the comments. I would love to hear. Sagittarius, Sagittarius, beautiful Sagittarius. Beautiful Sag. I love laughing at myself. Sag, you're going to experience your solar eclipse in Aquarius in your 3rd house. And the 3rd house is our communication, our mindset. During this eclipse, you may be thinking about, who can I connect with? It really is the house of connection. What can I write about? What, you know, or maybe I know what I want to write about. Is it time to start that blog? Is it time to create that website? What are you learning, teaching, or growing through right now? It's also the 3rd house. Local environments, your neighborhood, your aunts, uncles, cousins, siblings, those relationships, your devices, your vehicles, short trips. This eclipse may inspire you to take a long weekend trip. It may be inspire you to go to a new place that you haven't been before, to take a hike somewhere, to go to a museum or a spiritual center, something that's going to expand you. That is what I'm getting. And it's a solar eclipse. It's conjunct the North Node. So you could meet somebody. Venus is conjunct the North Node as well. You could meet somebody that brings a fresh start to your life, whether it's a friend, a lover, a mentor. You could make a connection that jumpstarts something new for you, because this is, after all, the beginning of a manifestational cycle. So, Sag, if there's anything you want to wrap up to around this time, if there's anything that's gone unsaid that needs to be said, if there's anything that is sort of lingering for you, this is the time to do it, because this is a 28-degree, 56-minute eclipse, and it's saying wrap something up to create space for this next new thing that you are manifesting. So let's see, Sag. I've been shuffling. Let's see what the cards have to say for you. Sagittarius. Sag. Your card is clairvoyance. One of the reasons I wanted to use these cards is because Aquarius is the cosmic intelligence. It's the galaxies. It is what is often formless, right? The stars. And because it's co-ruled by Uranus, it is very much connected to the nervous system and to our ability to bring into our awareness. It's very much divine download kind of energy. So I love that you got clairvoyance, because it says, I'm helping your spiritual sight to awaken fully so you can clearly see heavenly love. Heavenly love. So 2 messages here. One, clairvoyance. One, that your clairs are opening up. And for a lot of you, it's your clairvoyance through your third eye. And another message is that whether it's your guides, your angels, spirit, the divine, whoever you work with, they want you to have a deeper relationship of really sensing and feeling the love of the divine. And that's something that I work with you and share with you different tools in my book, The Magic of Saying Yes, which is really about partnering with your soul. So I love this. I love all the colors of the chakras. I love the sweet wisdom in this angel's face. If you want to claim your clairvoyance or your connection to your soul, your divine love, or anything else in the comments, beautiful Sag, I would love to hear. Scorpio. Hello, beautiful Scorpio. Scorpio, the sun is out. It's making me feel so good and energized here. And your solar eclipse is happening in your 4th house of home, family. So this is your physical home. It is your roots. It is relationships with family members, whether they are living or not. It's your ancestral beings as well in your family, ancestral healing. It can be healing the mother line. It can be inner child healing, an awareness of childhood conditioning. So this is the bottom of the chart, the 4th house. And when we have an eclipse here, it can be as practical as moving your home, wanting to. It's a solar eclipse. It's a new beginning. It's a new vision. So a vision for moving your home, but also some of you could be moving out of a home. There is a wrapping up aspect to this eclipse as well. There's a leaving something behind, or that can be an inner leaving something behind, or it could be in practical reality, we're doing that. You could be changing like who you're living with. Someone could be moving out. Somebody could be moving in. If you have children that are leaving the nest, for example, getting ready to go off to college, perhaps, or maybe they've been at home. Maybe they've been at home and now they've gotten a job and now they can afford their own rent, that kind of thing, or buying a home. You get the idea. That could be the case too. And if anyone is going through an empty nest, I know how hard that can be. That can be such a challenging, sad transition, a grieving period. So I want to acknowledge that. Some of you could have bought a house or have a plan to buy a house and move, which would be really exciting. So that's around the home and family. Or you could just be wanting to decorate, reignite the the spark of your home, you know, beautify. You could be doing that. But because it's an eclipse, be aware of if there's something that is calling to you to heal within your heart during this time. It could be a relationship with a parent, whether they are still living or not living. And some of you may get some communication through a dream or through a sign from a family member or someone who's crossed over on the other side, someone wanting to communicate with you as well. So what is your dream or vision or goal, beautiful Scorpio, for this eclipse? It makes a square to your energy, and squares get us moving. They get us into action. For some of you, you might be cleaning out closets or a basement or an attic, or doing something that is refreshing your home. Clutter clearing, perhaps. Because clutter clearing can be really powerful. Even clutter clearing just one drawer can be really powerful for getting unstuck. So if any of you feel at all unstuck, would be a time to do something like that. Anything that makes you feel like your home is more peaceful, brings you more comfort, more of a sanctuary. So Scorpio, let's see what the cards have to say for you. For your solar eclipse in Aquarius. And I mentioned, Scorpio, in part 1 of this video that we are going to have 6 eclipses on the axis of Aquarius and Leo over the next 2 years. And because both of those signs, well, Leo is your opposite sign, so it will oppose you, those eclipses, and then the ones in Aquarius will square you. Given that, they challenge us, but then they are the ones that often make the most profound positive impact on our lives as well. Okay, Scorpio. Scorpio, your card is career transition. The house of career, your house of career is in your 10th house. It's opposite your 4th house. So even though the sun and the moon will both be in your 4th house during this eclipse, it's a solar eclipse, it's a new moon, both sun and the moon are on the same page, they're in the same house. Even though that's true, you know, the energy, when planets transit that 4th house, if you have planets or points that are being activated, opposed by the solar eclipse, you could feel this in your 10th house of career as well. So this says career transition. Archangel Chamuel, your life purpose is triggering a blessed career change. Do you want to do something that feels more aligned with your soul? Something that is more of a vocation, bringing your passion out into the world, getting paid for your passion. If you're not, don't have a career, if you're retired or you don't see yourself as, you wouldn't use that word career to describe what you do, then it's still a transition that wants to connect you to the opportunity to express your life purpose even more. Beautiful Scorpio, if this resonates and you want to share in the comments, I would love to hear. Libra, hello, beautiful Libra. Libra, the solar eclipse in Aquarius, which trines your energy. It's a fresh breeze blowing in. It's the wind at your back, is happening in your 5th house of true love and romance, children, creative expression, the freedom to be you, the freedom to enjoy life. This can be anything that we do that feels adventurous, that feels fun, that feels like I'm just doing this because I know I'm going to enjoy it. It's also the house of inner child delight. So what is not to love about this, Libra? It's quite a lovely eclipse for you. Now it could be activating other planets or points in your chart that aren't as harmonious. But to your Libra rising, you're going to get that lovely flow. So Libra, are you ready for a new romance? Do you have a romance or a love relationship that you are wanting to deepen or make more harmonious? Is there something going on with children in your life? Do you work with children? Is there something that you want to do that is connected to children? And then your creative expression. It could be a creative child that you are birthing and bringing into the world, whether it's a book or a play, or you could be in a band, you could be wanting to tour as a band, you know, obviously it could be anything in which you are fully expressing yourself. You could be designing clothes. We could go on and on with all the possibilities for creative expression, right? Or it could be art is healing. You could be wanting to sit down and just let spirit guide you, get some pastels, get some paper, and just let spirit tell you which colors to pick up, which designs to make. That can be a wonderful way of connecting with your spirit. And Libra, you are very creative. Most of you are very creative and artistic. So that or something else might be really enjoyable for you creatively. Let's see what the cards have to say for you, Libra. Libra, your card is Life Review. Archangel Jeremiah, take inventory of your life and resolve to change or heal anything that is unbalanced. And that word balanced, right? Libra, unbalanced, that is you. You are the scales. You need balance in your life to be happy. Absolutely. Absolutely, beautiful Libra. Sorry, I couldn't help myself. So this is saying that life review. Have you done a life review before? I absolutely love the process of life reviews. They take a little bit of time, but to me, they are so worth it because it's a time that we can really step back and we can look at where have we had accomplishments. You could do it in bullet points. You can do it in narrative, long narrative form, or you can do it in bullet points, and you can just do the highlights of your life, the low points and the high points, the turning points. And that can be the thing that gives us the perspective on our life that brings us into a new point of awareness that helps us to make a decision or helps us to see maybe we have a story about our life that just isn't accurate based on everything. We tend to forget our accomplishments. We tend to forget how we've moved through adversity. Oh my goodness, how we've moved through adversity, right? Libra, we tend to forget the things that we've done where we have ended up on the mountaintop. I feel like to me, this is a sense, this image is a sense of success. I sense a sense of I've made it. And wherever you are in your life right now, maybe you don't feel that way. But by going back over your difficult moments, your successes, it can show you what needs resolving, if anything, and how you can bring balance back into your life if that's needed. Beautiful Libra, if anything I shared resonates, let us know in the comments. I would love to hear. Virgo. Hello, beautiful Virgo. Virgo, your solar eclipse in Aquarius is happening in your 6th house of daily work, your health, your habits, any addictions that you want to heal. Most of us have one, whether it's very minor or something that perhaps you've healed in your past. It could be addiction to worry sometimes for Virgos, or overthinking. You know, those are a bit of, they can be stereotypical. I understand that. But of course, that's just one thing for the 6th house. It's your lifestyle. It's your pets. It's your routines and how you take care of your body, the food that you eat, how you're creating a life that ideally is connected to your spirit, your soul, you living in alignment with your beautiful inner rhythm, Virgo. So this eclipse is asking you, do you have a vision for your work? Do you have a vision for your health? Do you have a new dream lifestyle? Is there something you want to create that will bring you closer to that? Is there something that involves a pet, perhaps? So I just got an image of somebody traveling with their pet, somebody walking their dog next to a cruise ship. Are you allowed to bring pets on cruises? Probably. Some people, they probably let you, especially if it's for your emotional well-being. Absolutely. So, but obviously that's just one image. That's a metaphor for some of you. Whatever your vision is, you could be wrapping something up because that's part of this eclipse energy. It could be letting go of a job, resolving a health issue, walking away from one lifestyle, starting a new lifestyle. You get the idea. Virgo, let's see what the cards have to say for you. To add to your astrology reading, the angels want to tell you, beautiful Virgo, that you are becoming more claircognizant. One of the clairs, it's Aquarius energy. It opens us up it opens up our nervous system because it's co-ruled by Uranus, and then Uranus is squaring the energy. Be aware of your nervous system, especially around this eclipse time. You might need more rest. You might need to ground your energy more. Spend more time in nature. Put your spine up against a tree like I like to do when I'm walking in the forest. This says, Archangel Uriel, pay attention to the thoughts and ideas that come to you. They are your answered prayers. Claircognizance, when we receive ideas, new possibilities, divine downloads through our crown chakra. And there's a beautiful rainbow here for you, a gorgeous sign reaching the top of the mountain, some of you. This card is mesmerizing to me. I mean, it's very simple. Just be aware that thoughts and answers that are coming to you may be your answered prayers. Beautiful Virgo, if you want to claim that your prayers are being answered or share if you've been feeling the claircognizance, some of you maybe, let us know in the comments. I'd love to hear. Leo, hello, beautiful Leo. Leo, I think I've shared this in other videos, but both of my parents were Leos. And I love Leo energy. I love all the signs. I have to say that. People really don't like it when they think I'm playing favorites, but I'm never playing favorites. I love all of you. Leo, I do love your fire. I do love your exuberance. I do love your spontaneity. And the eclipse for you in Aquarius is happening in your 7th house of committed partnerships. It is across from you on the zodiac wheel. Of course, you probably know that. What does this mean? It means that it's most likely to bring in the themes of relationship. Committed relationships are all relationships in which we have someone's back and they have our back, someone that's important to us at this point in our life. So often we associate it with spouses, business partners, agreements, spoken and unspoken, contracts fall here. And it can also be best friendships or our relationships with our adult children. Again, anyone that is significant in your life now. So, Leo, what would you like to manifest during this eclipse? What would you like to bring into fruition? It's a new moon solar eclipse, so it's a time to reflect. It's a time to get clear on what your heart most wants in relationship, most particularly, but this could be, there's often that continuum, right? Between your own identity and what's best for you and another person. That could also come up during this eclipse, and you could find that a relationship is closing out because eclipses are turning points often. They're turning points. It's a new cycle. One energy leaving, a new energy coming in. Us being often going through this eclipse portal and being catalyzed. The light is really coming in strongly. I'm going to pull that shade down in a moment, but let's pull your card and see what the cards have to say for you, beautiful Leo. Do you feel like you're at a turning point in one or more relationships? Are you excited about manifesting a new partner, perhaps, whether it's business, professional, best friendship, and so on? Any of these things could be up for you, Leo. Let's see what the cards have to say for you. Leo, your card is, nurture. It says Archangel Gabriel, which is the angel of the arts as well. As you nurture a child, you nurture your own inner child. Both activities are important for you right now. So check out this card. All of the angels admiring, cherishing, gathering around this beautiful child. Leo, I associate your energy with inner child delight. It's connected to 5th house energy, your energy, the heart, the sun, a solar eclipse, the sun, solar, right? And so the inner child in you may be really sparked during this eclipse. And some of you need extra nurturing. Some of you need to put your arms around the child within you and give that part of you love and connection and sweetness, and tell that part of you, I love you no matter what. I will never, ever leave you. Anything that could have happened in your childhood that made a negative imprint on you, to give your inner child a voice, let them tell you in your imagination what they experienced, and then give them the nurturing that they didn't receive when that happened, perhaps. So a lot of different ways to do this inner child work. I have a video for you on inner child healing, but whatever you do, and this could be you nurturing another child too, and your own child or a child in your life, but whatever it is that you do, it's going to help you to manifest what your heart most wants now that much more easily. Beautiful Leo. If anything I shared resonates and you want to share in the comments, I would love to hear. Cancer. Hello, beautiful Cancer. Cancer, I have my moon and rising in Cancer. We are going to experience this eclipse. Those of you who are Cancer risings and those of you who are Cancer moons and suns, these themes will apply for you. This will be happening in your 8th house of transformation, death and rebirth. Why do we call it the house of death and rebirth? Because this is where we have experiences, or we can have experiences that change us from the inside out. Unconscious fears can come up, but also joys and celebrations. It's the house of emotional attachments. And we Cancers know well, right? Cancer, we know well what it feels like to be emotionally attached to something or someone. What things or people could we be attached to in this house? Emotional and sexual intimacy, long-term savings, the financial house as well. So investments, shared resources, any time, money, energy that we spend or share with partners or with other people in our life. And this could be as simple as you go out to lunch with your best friend weekly, or you have a book club party and people contribute to that. It can come up in those more subtle ways as well. Does it feel like there's equal give and take? Does it feel like there is you're not doing all the giving, Cancer, which is what Cancers can tend to do? Also, your relationship with your investments, your relationship with anything that you own that brings you long-term security, such as a home, and retirement funds if you have one, your relationship with brokerage firms, taxes, debts as well. So it's a new moon, new beginning, new vision. What do you want for this area of your life? A lot of Cancers have been focused on creating long-term financial security with themselves. There's nothing wrong if you haven't been doing that, Cancer, if that hasn't been your focus, but we've had a lot of transits here. And so that could resonate for you. If not, it could have to do more with your sexuality. It could have more to do with your emotional connections, especially to a lover or a business partner, somebody that you spend a lot of time with, where you need to have trust, because this really is the house of trust as well. Power and control. Is it shared equally, enough equally that we feel safe? Do we have trust with the people that we spend time with? That could be up for you. You could realize where there isn't enough trust, or where somebody has broken your trust, usually more than once with Cancers. And something could have happened too within the last month or so, because we feel eclipses 6 weeks before, 6 weeks after. Something could have happened as far back as sometime in December or January that made you aware that there isn't that equal commitment or dedication in a relationship. And if that's true, you're meant to break free to a certain extent, or pull your energy back to a certain extent. And remember, Uranus is squaring this eclipse, which is saying some of us, it's time to break free. There's a liberation and a freedom that comes with Uranus energy. So, beautiful Cancer. It's a solar eclipse, so it's asking you, what do you want to build to? What do you want to build in your 8th house? Is there anything, a nest egg perhaps, or a home perhaps, or a relationship where there is equal sharing of resources, and there is a deep connection, and there is trust? Okay, so Cancer, let's see what the cards have to say for you for your solar eclipse in Aquarius. Cancer. This card says, Archangel Uriel, you know what to do. Trust your inner knowledge, and act upon it without delay. I love this so much. What a vote of confidence and validation, Cancer, for you. You know what to do. You are very intuitive. You are one of the most psychic signs. Whatever your intuition has been telling you, whatever your spidey senses, your psychic awareness. And some of you may want to consult a mentor. I feel like there's a mentoring energy here in Archangel Uriel. The 8th house is a good place to consult a mentor or get advice from somebody whether it's a therapist or a coach or somebody who's an expert in the field in which you need advice. That could also be really helpful. Just to validate what you already probably know, Cancer, because you know what to do. If you want to claim this in the comments, let us know. I'd love to hear. Gemini. Hello, beautiful Gemini. I have my sun in Gemini, and the solar eclipse in Aquarius will make a beautiful trine to your energy. That's quite lovely. The wind at your back, the wind filling up your sails, your air to Aquarius's air. And it's happening for you, this eclipse, in your 9th house of expansion, Gemini. You are meant to expand through this eclipse and or whatever it is that you are wanting to manifest, whatever new manifestational cycle is calling you to pay attention to. You know, what do you want to create here? It could have to do with long distance travel. It could have to do with higher learning something through a degree program or a certification program, for example. It could be you podcasting, broadcasting, teaching, publishing something, sharing your philosophy or your truth through in any of those ways, or maybe making videos, for example. You could be seeking justice. You could be walking away from a religion or something that you spent time with. Like maybe you went to church regularly and now you realize that's not the right place for you anymore, or it's not the right philosophy or religion for you anymore. This is the house of spiritual awakening too. You could be engaging in a new, if it's not an actual degree program or certification program, it could be a new study for you, new seeking. You could feel like you're just beginning to do some self-discovery and seeking right now. And you could be thinking about, would you want to live in another country or would you want to travel? Generally, the 9th house is more about travel than moving to another country, but you could be having a 12th house transit as well, which is living in a foreign land. Or, you know, sometimes we travel places and then we get smitten and we decide we do want to move there, or at least we want to try it out. Or maybe you want to do some you know, travel to a lot of different places. Maybe you want to be a digital nomad, some of you. Okay, so, and you could be publishing something through a website, like I mentioned in part 1 of this video, the last time that we had this eclipse, February 2008. What was going on for you then? What did you start something then? That was when I started my first website as a spiritual coach. So, and the eclipse was happening for me then in the 9th house. So there you go. So let's see, beautiful Gemini, what the cards have to say for you. I love hearing from you. Leave me a comment if you'd like. What's up for you for this eclipse? Beautiful Gemini. Your card is Archangel Michael. Archangel Michael protects us, helps us to move through fears. It says, I am protecting you against any lower energies, guarding you and your loved ones from harm. You are safe. So you are safe, Gemini. If you've been afraid of anything, if you have felt like there is anyone potentially talking behind your back, or that it wouldn't be safe to travel to a specific place, or that, you know, something that you really want to do, perhaps you're being called to do it on your own. That's Saturn and Neptune and Aries. We can be called to take a solo venture. This is saying whatever it is for you, you are being protected by Archangel Michael. You are safe. It is safe to follow your heart. Beautiful gem. If you want to claim this in the comments or anything else, let me know. I would love to hear. Taurus. Hello, beautiful Taurus. Taurus. Your eclipse, your solar eclipse in Aquarius, is happening in your 10th house of career, vocation, passion, life purpose expressed, retirement, semi-retirement, your legacy, how you want to be spending your time. Taurus, this eclipse is both a shedding, a letting go of a chapter for some of us, and stepping into a new vision, a new dream, a new goal for some of us as well. So if your planets or points in your chart are being activated by this eclipse, You could be ready to start a new career. You could be ready to end a career. You could be walking away and retiring. You could be saying, I only want to do something that is in alignment with my passion. You get the idea. A solar eclipse in Aquarius. The solar is the sun. It's saying your life force energy depends on you being passionate about what you love. Or at least, some of us are able to do a day job, as we call it, right? We're able to do something that we make money doing, and we're completely fine with that as long as we're engaging our creativity or feeling like we are living our purpose, whatever that is for you. As long as we're doing that in a way that gets satisfied, some of us that works for us. So we're all different. We're all different. But this eclipse in Aquarius is saying the cosmic intelligence is calling to some of you, the stars, the galaxies. Some of you may want to study astrology. Some of you may want to get an astrology reading if you've never gotten one before. Lately, I've had several people come to me. I was their very first astrology reader. I love that so much. There is nothing like your first astrology reading, but not just that. Even when I do readings for people who've had readings done before, and I point out things in their chart that other people haven't pointed out before, that is another layer of self-discovery, right? So for whatever reason, I'm looking at I just put a few notes down, and that wasn't one of my notes, but for whatever reason, when I looked at that word Aquarius, that's what jumped out at me for you. So that may resonate with some of you. The other thing that's coming out is coming through me in terms of intuition is the wild card nature of this eclipse, because Taurus, Aquarius energy squares your energy, and because Uranus is in your sign, and of course Uranus will be transiting your first house, will be transiting in your first house of you, identity. This could be a shift of identity for you. If your rising sign is near the degree point of this eclipse, and I talk about that in part 1 of this video, who will feel this most intensely. Your late degree rising sign, Taurus. So, some of you may be ready to reinvent yourselves. Some of you may feel very restless right now. You could feel restless in a relationship. You could feel restless in any area of your life. The phrase living radiantly by your own inner rhythm, that is a course that I taught once, and I love that phrase. Obviously, I used it it came to me for a course, but I feel that some of you might want that too. We can go through, if you're deeply spiritual, you can go through a period like I was going at that time in my life. I was going through a period where I just wanted to live by my own inner rhythm. So often we feel like we can't do that if we're in a specific career. So I think some of you needed to hear that. Or maybe you're retired. A lot of people retire and then they're not happy in retirement because they expected it to be different. And you can do whatever you want when you're retired, generally speaking. Obviously, there are limits with the amount of money we have and all of that. But I don't want to just limit this description to those of you who have what you would call a career. There are a lot of different ways that we can give back, that we can live our purpose, that we can feel in align with our passion. And I think those themes may be up for some of you, or a lot of you. So let's see what the cards have to say for you, beautiful Taurus. And I love hearing how you're experiencing this or what you're thinking about right now, because you could very well be feeling this whenever you're watching this video. We often feel eclipses right around the eclipse time, but you could have felt it 6 weeks before, 6 weeks after, or even before that. Taurus. Your card is Relationship Harmony. Archangel Raguel. We angels are opening the hearts of everyone involved. Arguments and conflicts are being resolved now. Because you're having this eclipse at the top of your chart, the 10th house, that could be relationships having to do with like coworkers in your career, or it could be any other angle of your chart. It's an angle of your chart. So you can feel this in terms of your committed partnerships. You can feel this, at home or family members, and also just anyone that's important to you in your life. Here's the card, Taurus, Relationship Harmony. There's a purity to this color white. It represents the theme of purity and purifying. And the gold I always think of your energy as gold because it's material wealth. And I know not all of you resonate with wealth per se, but wealth is, it depends on our own definition of that, right? But this is saying that there's a harmony that's being created. And I see this circle. This reminds me of the eclipse portal, this circle. This energy of higher consciousness having to do with your relationships, feeling safe to speak with those that you might need to have conversations with, developing a deeper trust, or becoming aware of where you might be diverging. Your path may be diverging from another person's path. You might come back together in this lifetime, but we sometimes grow in different directions. And whatever it is for you, beautiful Taurus, Archangel Raguel is helping you to open the hearts of everyone so that you can have peace, ease, and joy in your relationships. Beautiful Taurus, if anything I shared resonates and you want to share in the comments, I would love to hear. Aries, hello, beautiful Aries. Aries, you're going to experience your solar eclipse in Aquarius in the 11th house of, really, it's a new beginning, it's a new dream, it's fulfillment, because a cycle of your life is closing out. An eclipse in the 11th house says, what do you want now? What would light you up? It is the world card in the tarot. The world is your oyster. Your supporters, your friendships, your allies, online dating, any groups that you connect with online. There are so many support groups right now on Facebook and other places. It's fabulous how much support we can get through online platforms, but also it can be your own platform that you have created through social media, through YouTube, for example, or TikTok. Branding or promoting something, whether it's a business, a product, a service. This is often the 11th houses where we're putting something out into the world. We're sharing our message. We're getting support for it. It could be a Kickstarter campaign, you rallying people around you, community, meetup groups, your own community that you start. Any of these things, but really what's underlying all of this is, what does your heart most want right now, Aries? Do any of these themes resonate for you? It's a solar eclipse. It's a brand new vision or dream or goal, but also something is wrapping up, something is ending for a lot of us. And that could be a friendship, and that could be a platform of support that you used to have that's going away, or that you're not in alignment with a friend or a group of people anymore, so you're walking away from that. You could be shifting from one business to another. You could be leaving a job and starting your own business. So let's see what the cards have to say for you, Aries. For your solar eclipse in Aquarius, and I also wanted to say that you're getting a sextile from the Aquarius energy to your energy. So air to your fire. And the sextile says you can create something tangible, a solution, an opportunity. These are things that often come through sextiles. So that's really positive, Aries. Let's see what the cards have to say for you. Aries. Remember who you are. And Aries, you are the sign of the I am, and then who you are. Archangel Michael, you are a powerful being, a creative child of God. You are deeply loved. Very sweet. Look at this card. Remember who you are. All the blue reminds me of the throat chakra. Also reminds me of Aquarius energy. This is a message that some of you needed to hear. Who are you? When I ask you that question and you begin with the words I am, what comes out? That may be your intention for this eclipse, beautiful Aries. I feel like this angel is feeling accomplished too, is proclaiming with their torch, proclaiming that they've made it, that they're victorious, which is very connected to Aries energy. And Aries, watch part 1 of this video because I talk about what Saturn and Neptune coming together just 3 days after this eclipse means, and they're coming together in your sign. So it's a time for you to step up to a higher vision, so to speak, of who you are, what you came here for, what lights you up, what would bring you the most satisfaction and joy, beautiful Aries. Pisces. Hello, beautiful Pisces. Pisces, you're going to have your solar eclipse in Aquarius in your 12th house of the other realms. Pisces, this is the energy that you are very well accustomed to. You are connected to the 12th house in the bigger zodiac. There is an airplane flying above or outside of my window right now, if that means anything to any of you. Some of you may be ready for an adventure. Just let that pass so that you could hear me. And happy birthday to those of you who have birthdays in February. The 12th house is also your mystical self, the subconscious mind, rewiring the subconscious mind, if that's helpful to what it is that you want to experience going forward. The 12th house can be reprogramming beliefs. It can be self-doubt sometimes. It's hidden energy off in the 12th house. It can be the things that our heart most wants or that we have longings for, but we don't see because it's hidden. We don't see how we can come out with that energy. And so we can keep it, to ourselves. A solar eclipse here could have to do with your own awakening, with astral travel or other worldly experiences, magic, synchronicities, signs, divine downloads, angelic visitations, channeling, mediumship, automatic writing. Some of you may want to start a spiritually based business. Some of you may want to do healing work on yourself or with others. Some of you may want to read tarot cards or do something that feels very mystical to you, or energy healing work. So this eclipse in the 12th house, or maybe you want to work with people in areas that are connected to the 12th house, such as hospitals or prisons, or foreign lands. You might want to move to a foreign land. You might want to live in another country that's also connected to the 12th house. Big picture, the 12th house, an eclipse, solar eclipse in the 12th house is an opportunity to reconnect with your soul on a very deep level and to strengthen, deepen that relationship of love with your own inner self. Beautiful Pisces. So let's see what the cards have to say for you for your solar eclipse in Aquarius. We're going to have 6 eclipses on the Aquarius Leo axis over the next 2 years. And I'll say more when we have our first eclipse in Leo later this year. A lot going on for some of you if these eclipses activate any planets or points in your chart. Okay, which is something, of course, that I can illuminate for you in astrology consultation. Let's see what the cards have to say for you, Pisces. Your card is Clairsentience. This is the 3rd Claire that has come out, I think the 3rd, if not the 4th. Clairsentience. It says, Archangel Raguel, notice your recurring physical and emotional feelings as they signify divine guidance. You're having this eclipse in your 12th house, which is the house of the divine. And clairsentience is those gut feelings that we have, or any feelings that we get. With this eclipse making a square to Uranus, you could have, you could feel your nervous system activated. You could feel the need for more grounding. You could feel the need for more time in nature. But look here too, it looks like there's a heart activation right here. There's a beautiful heart and light around this angel's heart. There's root chakra energy here. And you are being given the opportunity or the gift of enhancing your clairsentience, beautiful Pisces. If this or anything else that I shared resonates and you want to comment, I would love to hear. My beautiful friend, I am so glad that you joined me for this video. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing your time, your energy. Thank you for giving this video a like, a thumbs up. Thank you for sharing with anyone that you know who loves astrology. For commenting, I love your comments, and for subscribing. Your subscribes do make a huge difference. They help my channel grow. They allow me to keep putting videos out for you, and your support means the world to me. If you'd like to know more about how this eclipse is activating the planets or points in your chart, not just your rising sign, and any other transits that are going on for you right now, you can book an astrology consultation with me. You can go to my website, check out my offerings: Heart's Desire, Life Purpose, Relationship Harmony, a natal chart reading, or a 2026 year ahead reading. I also offer clarity coaching sessions on my coaching page. The links to both my astrology and coaching pages are in the description box below. Check out the testimonials of other clients who have worked with me and shared what they got from their readings, and that should give you a sense of whether you feel called to book a session. As promised, I have a free gift for you, and that free gift is a soothing guided meditation. It will connect you to your divine guidance, to the unconditional love of your spirit, your guides. If you'd like to receive that, go to my website, sign up for my weekly inspirational astrology updates, and you'll get your free gift instant download right away. My beautiful friend, let me know what you're thinking, feeling, sensing about this eclipse. And until my next video, I am sending you all my love.